All right. Hello, guys. So, welcome. Thank you again for joining me today. This is the TechSoup Basics webinar with me, Jed. I'll be your kind of like your host slash guide for today. Now, just before we get started, just a few house rules. The usual. If you've attended one of my webinars before, there's kind of like the usual thing. So, number one, the session is recorded. So don't worry, we'll be sending you the link and the references soon after the webinar. Next is at the moment you are muted. That is particularly standard for a webinar. However, if you have questions, just feel free to send them over chat, right? And last but not the least, this is free space. This is for you to learn. So there are no such things as silly questions. If whatever that may be bothering you, or if there's something that you may have not understood, if there's something that you may not have understood, so just let me know. You just send the question over chat, and I will be answering those at the end of the session. So one thing that I didn't note here is that we'll be going through the entire session first, then I'll be answering all of your questions at the end. All right? So to formally begin, welcome to TechSoup Basics. Again, I am the project coordinator of TechSoup Asia Pacific across the Asia Pacific region. Yeah, I'm Jed. So today I'll be helping you make the most out of your TechSoup accounts. So I'm assuming that at the moment you already have your TechSoup accounts that you've already signed up, but if you haven't yet, I'll also help you on how to get started. So today we'll talk about three main things. Number one is basically how you can get qualified in TechSoup. Secondly, how you can request for the licenses that are available in TechSoup.asia. And lastly, how to use your validation token, which is a big question at the moment, right? So, formally begin. So let's start first with, let's talk about who TechSoup is, how we can help your NGO. So just to give you a bit of an overview, TechSoup is a nonprofit or an NGO as well. We're based in San Francisco, and we've been here for the past 30 years now. So it's amazing. So we actually work with two main groups of people, primarily the NGOs, such as you, and on the other hand, we also work with donors, such as Microsoft, Google, Symantec, or basically the products that you can see on our website. So we work with those donors. So how does this work then? So where does TechSoup fit in? So we fit in right at the middle of it. There. So we from TechSoup, we help your NGOs connect with these donors to access the technology donations, resources, and maybe learning materials and opportunities that you need to help you make the most out of technology, and also to help you optimize technology to help you with your work, to make a bigger impact in your communities. So I hope that made sense. So let's get cracking at the very first topic. How do you get validated? The first thing with TechSoup is it starts with you getting validated. So you can do this by two things. Number one, you register online at www.techsoup.asia. If you haven't yet, will show you a quick breeze through on how to do that in a bit. And secondly, you need to send in certain required documents that will prove that you are a qualified NGO in your local communities or in your local countries. So, sorry, just to quickly demo that for you. So as you can see, here is the website. Hang on. You can see this is the homepage of our website. That's www.techsoup.asia, as you can see there. For you to register, all you need to do is go here, register here, and just first click sign up. That will send you to a form. Just fill out that form, and once you're done with that form, just go back in and register your nonprofit. All right. Now, another question here is, what are the required documents that you will be needing? Now, we're currently catering for 6 different countries, actually 10. So I'm not going to be going into too much details on what documents are required, but to help you find what documents are necessary, just highlight help and support, and you will see here eligibility. Just click that right now. Let's give it a minute. And here, you will see the required, will my organization qualify for TechSoup Asia program? And you will see here the documents that are necessary per country. So say you're an organization coming from Thailand, just click that, and you will see the documents right there. You can also scroll down, scroll a bit, and you will see all the required documents. Now, if in any case you kind of like feel that you're getting lost in the process, or maybe you don't know what's next, the easiest tip that I can give you is here. Just click this right here, this image right here that says Get Qualified, the TechSoup guide, and it will actually show you the 3 steps that you mainly need, and also a video guide on how you can actually get qualified and how to go through the registration. So you'll see here all the steps. You're going to need all 3 steps, and just click on these buttons to send you to where you need to go. Now, I hope that made sense for a bit. Now, I hope I'm not going too fast as well. So that's basically how you can get qualified. Basic 2-step process, very easy, and of course it is entirely for free. Registration is entirely for free, so do not worry about that, right? Next, so what happens after you get qualified? Of course, we will let you know once you get qualified. That normally takes about 3 to 5 working days for us to completely process that. Now, once you have been notified that you have qualified, you can now proceed to do 2 main things. Number 1, you can access donated licenses via our website or our program. And secondly, access your validation token, which we'll be talking more about in a bit. So now let's go back to our website here, and I'll show you how to do just basically how to proceed with those 2 things. Let's start off with how you can access donated licenses, right? So here in TechSoup, we actually provide donated licenses from Microsoft, Symantec, Adobe. Basically, those are our technology donor partners. So our tech donor partners actually donate licenses to us, which we would be reselling as part of our sustainability program for just about 5% of their actual price. So that's called an admin fee. So for that admin fee, you'll be acquiring genuine licenses that can help you make the most, that can really help you optimize your programs. So number 1, to find a product that you need, you can just go through here at Browse Catalog. So we have specific filters that can help you. Of course, Microsoft being the most varied and having the widest catalog here, we have a specific Microsoft option here that can help you find all the Microsoft product donations, such as Windows operating systems, Office, and the various servers that they provide. So feel free to click through those. Now, if you maybe want to look through who our partners are and what they're offering, you can go through by partners. And you can see all of the partners that are offering donations and discounted licenses through TechSoup at the moment. So you see here Adobe, Adobe Creative Cloud, Autodesk, and so on. And again, another popular catalog from our end is security software. You can just click that. And also you can actually filter it based on certain categories. Take, for example, operating systems, Office products, products for Mac if you're running on Mac, things that can help you with your graphics and multimedia, and so on. Now, and of course, our very special sole hardware donor Remix Mini. If you need quick Android PCs, these are fantastic programs that you may want to look into. So, all right. So let's say you would need an Office license, right? So let's go to Buy Partners. So let's go to Office software, and you're going to see here Office products, right? So if you click through that link, you'll see all of the Office products that are made available at the moment. So say I need an Office Standard. As at the moment you're seeing here, these are the admin fee prices. There. Those admin fee prices are again just equivalent to 5% of the actual market price. So logically, you're getting a 95% discount out of it, so which is amazing, right? So let's say I need 5 licenses of Office Standard. Just click through that, and you'll be redirected to the product page. Now at the product page, I highly suggest you go over the details first. Make sure that this is the product that you need. Make sure that everything is here. Okay, just want you to kind of like orient yourself on what this license is, and what you can expect by purchasing this license. And once you're okay with that, just add the quantity that you need here. As mentioned earlier, maybe I would need 5, right? So let's put 5 here. Now let's add to cart. Now that's the basic process of adding a product to your shopping cart, basically. And you're going to see that there once it's done. Now, if you need more licenses, just repeat the process. Basically, go back to Browse Catalog, find a product, another product that you need. Say you need also maybe an antivirus. So let's go to Symantec or Bitdefender. I prefer Bitdefender at the moment. Maybe I need a Bitdefender license. So just click through Bitdefender, and maybe I need a internet security license. So just click there, and there. I need 5 as well. So add to cart, and that should appear here again. Now, once you're done, say you're already happy with your shopping cart, just press check view cart just to make sure that you have everything there. Now here at shopping cart, if you need to maybe say remove a product, you can just click this one and press update, just check that there and update cart, or you can basically just edit the quantity here. Now say I'm happy with everything now, now that I'm okay, let's just press check out. And we will be sent to certain prompts. Let's just wait for that a bit. Here, these are the agreements and restrictions check. So I would highly suggest that you read over this just to make sure that you understand and that expectations are managed, and also to make sure that these are basically the fine print. Just make sure that you read over this. But for the purposes of this webinar and for the purposes of conserving time, I'll just click through. Oh man, but don't do what I did. So I'm just gonna check through that for the moment. So just after that, just click check restrictions, and once that is all clear, you are then free to check out, which is here. Now from here, this is the tricky part for most people. So of course, there is an admin fee again for the licenses that we have requested. At the moment, this is the subtotal here. This is in Philippine peso because I am in the Philippines at the moment. So it's 10,305 Philippine pesos. So you can either pay this by credit card or by PayPal, which is actually what we would prefer for 2 main reasons. Number one, there's no hidden charges for credit cards or PayPal. We don't add anything else other than the admin fee. And also it allows us to process your order faster, allowing you to receive your licenses and your installers at a fairly faster rate as well. But if you currently don't have a credit card or PayPal account, you can also choose to use bank transfers or check or money order, or by mailing as a check. I will go into more details later on this. So let's say for now I'll be going through a bank transfer. And once we're happy, let's just click review order. And this is basically the last few steps on what you're going to do. Let's just wait for it a bit and run. And yeah, at the review order, this is basically your last chance to double check it, make sure nothing's wrong. And once you're good, once you're happy with it, you're also going to see here the details of the bank details of where you need to send it. At the moment, our bank account is handled by our Australian partner, which is connecting up. This is their bank details, where you need to send it to. Now, the bank detail, this being an Australian bank, expect for your bank transfer to clear in about a week to 2 weeks time. It does take a while actually to do international bank transfers. And most especially, one thing you would need to take note of is that local banks would actually charge additional fees for it. This is not a charge coming from TechSoup, but basically for the bank to do this transfer, it does actually cost them money to do it. So if you want to make sure of how much that is for your finance purposes, please do call your bank first to double check how much it will take or how much they charge for international transfers. All right. But once you're done, just press submit order. And that's about it. That's basically how easy it is to place a request. All right. And let's just wait for that to clear. Yep, and you're all good. Order is complete. Now, quick thing, take for example, again, I mentioned earlier that it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for an international transfer or a check to actually clear going to our bank account in Australia. However, if this is PayPal or credit card, this is more instantaneous, whereas it's already marked as completed as soon as you hit, as soon as you pay for it. In this case, take for example, the payment has already been received. Once the payment has been received, it takes you about 1 to 2 working days to receive licensing information coming from the donor itself, and maybe another 1 day maybe for you to actually complete the installation, the downloads, and so on. So all in all, it's a 2 to 3 working day process. But again, if you have any issues during the process, or if you need any further help, if you have questions, of course, you can feel free to just contact me or our customer services, and we will help you out. Right? Now, another thing I mentioned earlier is about payment gateways. So for you to see more details about it, just go to Help and Support. We have a specific section there for payments. If you need further details on the bank or on our Australian Partners bank account or check details, so you can see all of those here, including certain miscellaneous reminders, just delivery time and charges, bank fees, and so on. So take, for example, you need to find the details on how to finish the bank transfer, just click bank transfer here. And you're going to be seeing here all the details that you're going to need, such as the bank address and also our bank account in Australia. And that's about it. It's fairly easy, right? Not too hard. Now, the next thing I mentioned earlier was, aside from requesting for these licenses, there's also another thing you can do with your TechSoup account, which is to access your validation token. Now, I'm going to show you quickly how to access that. So just once you're logged in, just go to my account right here. And you should see here an option that says validation token. Just right at the very end there. Just click that in. And you will be redirected to your validation token here. So the token is actually just a string of code. It's just basically a code. This token is provided once you have been deemed as qualified, and once you have qualified. A quick note, the validation token is not instantly provided as soon as you qualify. No, it actually takes about 24 hours after you qualify. So don't be surprised if nothing appears in the first day. Just give it a day or so, and the validation token should appear in about after 24 hours that you've qualified. Now, again, this is the validation token. It's just basically a code, and this can help you apply for certain cloud donations coming in from Microsoft or Google. So I'll be helping you through that process now. So for you to be able to do that, just copy this token right now. So let's just copy that in. And let us try to apply for donation. So what I have here is a product donation for Microsoft. Let's begin with Microsoft first. So this is the Microsoft Philanthropies product donations page. It's actually very easy to find. If you are not sure how to do that, just Google in or Bing Microsoft, just Bing it, Microsoft Philanthropies. And from here, it's actually normally the first one. Just click product donations, and you will be sent to the exact same page as where we've been. Let's just close this one now. Now here, for you to begin the process of applying, just first go to the nonprofit login. And that should send you to a page where you're going to be prompted to paste in your validation token. Let's just paste the validation token there and press validate token. Now here, you just need to double check whether the details are correct. Now this being a test account, these are my details. So yeah, this is correct. So let's just proceed now. And hooray, we are now qualified. Now, by being qualified, we now have the chance to basically, or the opportunity to choose which Microsoft Cloud donation we want to receive. Again, there are an array of cloud donations that you can access. From the cloud services, you can get Office 365, Dynamics, Enterprise Mobility, and Power BI. Some are for free, some are discounted. More details on the product donations page at the Microsoft Philanthropies website. You can also choose to receive about $5 worth of Azure credits every year. If you want to access discounted licenses, of course, this will link you back to the TechSoup program. And for some organizations, take for example, this is particularly common in Singapore as well. If you are working with a reseller, you can actually process your charity certificate here. So let's just go for at it one by one, starting with the volume discounts. If you're working with a reseller, you can use this to to send a certificate from your to issue a certificate from Microsoft to your reseller saying that you are a charity, you are a qualified charity, and you are qualified for charity discounts. So just click that there and press continue for Microsoft to be prompted to send a certificate to your reseller. So you would just need an email address from your reseller to where it needs to be sent, and that's about it. For software, no need to go through here. You can actually just access this directly from your TechSoup program as well, from the TechSoup program like I demoed earlier. For Azure, you would need a Microsoft Live account. If you do not know what a Microsoft Live account is, or if you currently don't have one, it's actually very easy to create one. Let's just do that now. Microsoft Live account, sign in. So Microsoft Live account, all you need here is another email. Take, for example, a Gmail, a Hotmail, any kind of email that you currently have. And you just need to sign up for it. It's like, again, this is for free. This is for you to access certain Microsoft licenses, Microsoft services. So here, just fill this in and create the account. And once you have a Microsoft Live account, just go back here and provide the details here. After you submit the registration, your Microsoft Live account will be receiving a notification that you have already received the $5,000 credit, Azure credit, that you can use to consume certain Azure services. And there are a lot of Azure services, may I add. And last but not the least, for cloud services, this is the same process for accessing Office 365, Dynamics 365, Power BI, and Enterprise Mobility. So this is the same process for everything. Just continue to Office, just click here, continue on office.com, and you will be prompted to open a 30-day trial here. So because everything is kind of like encapsulated in the Office 365 service, all you need to do first is to qualify for Office 365. So there are a lot of varying subscriptions for Office 365. We can go into more detail on that later. There are free ones as well, but for this point in time, all you need to do is create a 30-day trial for an E3 one. This is actually basically the first step of applying for Office 365. So once you send in this application, we will just assist to review. We'll be reviewing your request, and if you're qualified for Microsoft licenses and TechSoup, then that's pretty much all good here as well. So we just need to let Microsoft know that you're all good in TechSoup, then voila, you're qualified. And from there, you can then continue to add services in. Maybe if you want Power BI, you can then continue to access that, and also Dynamics 365, all through your Office 365 portal or your Office 365 account. It's quite easy, actually. And that is about it for your validation token for Microsoft. It's very easy, right? Again, guys, if you have questions, if I'm going too fast, just feel free to check your questions on chat, and I will be responding to them in a bit. Now, last but not the least, of course, another popular donation is Google. Here we are at the Google for Nonprofits page. Just take note of the URL. It's google.com/nonprofits. Make sure to take note of these geography codes. Take, for example, because I am in the Philippines and my organization, my test account is based in the Philippines, you should be in a .ph account. But take, for example, if you're coming in from Singapore or coming in from Malaysia, you can't register through a .ph or a .th or a .vn URL because those are specifically for organizations that are coming in from those countries. So just make sure that this is appropriate to the country where you're registered in. So from here, again, this is a very simple thing. Just click join the program once you're here. Apply to Google for Nonprofits. The membership application, again, just for the purposes of this webinar, I would suggest that you actually review these in real time. But for me, I'll just have to click through there. And lastly, paste the token. and let us continue. And here, let's just fill these in real quick. Just fill these in right here, and oops, nothing's coming out. Oh, here. So let's say for my customer, nothing is coming out. And just make sure they filled all of those, then submit the application. And voila, you're approved. Now, once you're approved, you're now able to access a lot of varying services from Google. Take, for example, you're now able to enroll for a Google Suite, YouTube for nonprofits, and also Google Ad Grants. Again, these are all for free. All you need is a validation token, and you can access it in about, a few seconds, right? It's very easy, not extreme. You don't need any tech expertise to actually do it. And it's quite, again, it doesn't take a lot of time. So I hope that these two processes, mainly for requesting licenses and applying for Google Cloud donations using your validation token, were very simple and very clear. Let's just go back to the presentation. So then basically went through the meat of the entire presentation, actually. Very easy, right? Now let's go through some common questions or issues. Number one, how many licenses can we request? Now this can actually vary based on, sorry, just to clarify, licenses, this is from the licenses that are available on the website. This is based on each donor. Each donor actually has a maximum allotment, but they don't require a minimum requirement to process a request. Take, for example, if you want to request one license at a time, feel free to do that. But do take note that they have a maximum allotment of licenses that you can request per year or per 2 years from Microsoft. Due to the number of donors that we have, I couldn't go through all of those in detail. However, if you want to learn more about those, just go to About Us, our donor partners, and you're going to see here all of our donor partners, right? Just click one that you're interested in. Take, for example, you're interested in learning more about Microsoft. Just click Microsoft in a new tab or in Adobe. Just click that there. From here, just check in rules. So here, they have a specific section that says allotments. Just click that there. And you're going to see details on the allotment. So how much and how often can I order. So any organization can request for products from up to 10 title groups with a maximum of 50 licenses per title group, meaning a title group is basically a category of a product. Like, for example, an operating system, a CAL, or an office suite. So basically you can request 50 office suites, 50 operating systems, and maybe 50 CALs for every 2 years. That 2-year period starts at the very first time you actually place a request. Just have to take note of that. And yep, and it will shuffle in again. So after the 2-year cycle, you will actually be provided, your allotment, will be reset back to 0. So that means you can again request for 50 more if you need. However, if you have remaining allotments from the previous period, those will not be carried over to your new period, right? On the other hand, for Adobe, another example, this one, like most of our donors, Adobe actually works on a per fiscal year method or per fiscal year timeline. So our fiscal year starts at July 1st and ends June 30th, the very next year. So to learn more about guidelines, learn more about how much you can request, just click Guidelines and Restrictions. Here you'll see eligible organizations may request up to a total of 4 individual applications per fiscal year. For Adobe Cloud, Creative Cloud, for Creative Cloud products, you can actually request for unlimited. So it's just a matter of reviewing first these small details before you place a request. Again, just to recap, you can access these details under About Us. Go to Donor Partners, and you can check each donor restriction from here. Quite easy, right? Let's go back to the presentation. So that's That basically talks about how many licenses you can request for. Secondly, why is our token missing? Now, this is a very common issue that a lot of organizations experience at the moment. So one common uh, reason behind this is perhaps your number one, your organization may have not yet qualified or it's still undergoing review. So please double check with customer services in those cases. Maybe your organization before already qualified before, but then again, you got flagged for perhaps a missing detail in your account. Again, just contact customer services if you are experiencing these issues. But a common example to why that happens is it's related to your registration and your account, meaning there may be a missing detail, may be currently undergoing review, or so on. Lastly, why can I place a request? This is another common issue, such as the token. This is also related to your account. Maybe you are not yet qualified yet, or on the other hand, maybe you are not qualified for that particular donor. So one thing I would need to explain is that TechSoup runs a two-tiered review system, whereas the first thing that we check is whether you're a legal nonprofit based on local law. So that is covered by the documents that you will be sending. And on the other hand, each donor, take for example Microsoft, Adobe, Symantec, they have their own individual restrictions based on the kinds of activities your organization is engaging in. Take for example, certain donors cannot support government-funded organizations, NGOs. On the other hand, certain donors cannot have restrictions on organizations that are primarily religious or have primarily religious purposes. Take, for example, churches, mosques. So there are certain restrictions on those ends. Now, how do you learn more about those? Again, similar to the allotments, you will see those here as well. Again, about us, donor partners. Just click which donor you want to learn more about. And you're actually going to see here which organizations they can and cannot support. Take, for example, for Adobe, organization types, check that. All organization types are eligible. So in this case, Adobe is fine with anything as long as you have the legal documentation, then you are okay. But for certain donor partners, they are not as flexible. Let's go take, for example, for Bitdefender. So if you go to the eligibility and restrictions of Bitdefender, here are certain organization types that are not eligible to request. Take, for example, schools, colleges, universities. These are NGOs that they cannot support regardless of whether your organization has the certain documentation to prove that you're an NGO. Again, based on your activity, you cannot qualify due to their certain restrictions. I cannot elaborate more on why they have these restrictions, but in case of Microsoft and Google, they have these restrictions because they have separate programs that are more appropriate for such organizations. Take, for example, Google has the Google for Educators, for Education program, which caters for schools. On the other hand, Microsoft has, because of their restriction for healthcare, that exists because they actually have Microsoft licensing for healthcare. These are separate programs that they're running directly. We can't advise further on how you can access those, but I would be more than willing to help you get in touch with Google or Microsoft should you want to learn more about those. Or the easiest way to go about it is just call the local office. They're normally more knowledgeable than me at this end, right? So those are the basic reasons on why you may not be able to place a request. Another case is maybe you've already used up your allotment. So that's another common issue. But if you want to kind of like clarify the reason, just feel free to contact our customer services, and we'll be more than willing to help you out. And lastly, why is my token expired? So your token actually has a 60-day time limit. Basically a 60-day life period. Now, this exists for security purposes. We understand that certain NGOs normally have, fluctuating people. So take, for example, your IT person now may not be your IT person in the next few months. So in this case, we want to kind of like, since it helps them access certain donations, valuable donations, we put a time limit for it just to make sure that if they've already left the organization, they can't access that donation anymore. So in this case, it's very easy to fix. So if your token is expired, let's just go back to our account to help you go through that. So if your token has expired, it's actually quite easy to create a new one. Again, just go back to validation token. Sorry. If this has expired already, again here you can see it can be used for more than for 60 more days. If this has expired, you can just click add new token right there, fill these details in, and add new token. Make sure to add the details of your user account, otherwise you won't be receiving that token. So double check first with your user details, which email address you're using, which name you're using. You can just copy and paste that here to help you appropriately receive that token, right? Very, very easy. And another quick note, if you've already used up your token to access, say for example, Office 365, then your validation token expired during, after you've qualified for it, that's no longer going to be an issue. The token's purpose is only to help you qualify, but if you've already qualified, then the token's expiration will not affect your access to that particular ongoing donation. So don't worry about that. You're already all cleared, right? And hey, that's about it. Time for questions. I hope that was very helpful. So I'm just going to go pause my screen right here. So I'm just going to take in some water. Now let's go into some questions. Please feel free to type in your questions now. So here, Khalid, how do I check my licenses info from VLC? So that's a very good question. So just for those of you who may not be aware, so VLSC is actually the Volume Licensing Service Center. It's the website where you access the licenses that you've requested from Microsoft. That's where you access the the installers and the license keys. So how do I check my license info? You may need to log in. The basic answer there is you would have to log into your VLSC account. If you are having issues with your VLSC account, I'm going to show you a little trick right here. Sadly, we can't help very much in terms of supporting you in terms of supporting you further and maybe accessing the back end of the VLSC. Just going to unpause this right here. But you can actually contact the VLSC directly if you have deeper issues on it. Maybe you're having issues accessing your account and so on. You can actually access right here, microsoft.com/licensing/service center/help. I will be sending you these links after the webinar. But basically, this is where you can find their contact details. I would highly suggest, if it's a VLSC related issue, I would highly suggest for you to contact them directly. But for you to access the info, going back to the basic question there, for you to access the info that you need about VLSC and your licenses, just log into your account and that should be there, right? A quick note as well, if you have requested for Microsoft licenses, it actually takes them about 1 to 2 days to fully sync the licenses that you've requested to your VLSC account. So if they're not appearing at the moment, just give it a few days, maybe maximum of 2 days. If nothing appears by the second day, please give them a call, right? Okay, so far that is the only question. Guys, not sure if I was able to discuss that well. If you didn't, I hope it was effective. But any further questions, guys? I'm just gonna leave the floor open for questions. Seeing a hand raised here. Oops. Okay, here we have another question from Vuthi. Vuthi from Cambodia. I have some questions. The validation token is processed only when registered account or every time? Oh, okay. So this is a very good question. So Vuthi, the validation token is only required if you're going to be requesting for a certain donation. Take, for example, if it's Microsoft, I know in Cambodia, Microsoft Office 365 is already available. If you're only requesting for that particular cloud donation, then that's the only time you're actually going to be needing the validation token. However, if you only need to, take, for example, if you only need to request for licenses directly from TechSoup, say a Windows operating system or maybe an Office standard license, you wouldn't need a validation token anymore. All you need to do is just log into your account and basically recreate the process of requesting, and that's about it. Now, if it's requesting for licenses via TechSoup, no need to use the validation token. But if it is to apply for certain cloud donations, again, like Office 365, then that is the time where you will need a validation token. I hope that made sense. Yeah. All right, Thomas. I already have Microsoft software. How do I get an upgrade or new software? All right, that is a very good question. So take, for example, if you would be needing new licenses, all you would need to do again is number one, identify which software you need. Take, for example, if you need new licenses for operating system, then that's good. Then once you know, hang on, I'm just gonna pause my screen here. So yeah, once you already identified the need that you have, take for example, again, you need new licensing, sorry, you need new operating systems, just go back to our website and place an order for that software. In some cases though, take for example, there are certain software that are only active for a certain time period. Take for example, this is particularly common for security software, Thomas, just to give you help you to take note of it. So say if you requested for Bitdefender licenses and you need an upgrade, it's basically equivalent to requesting for that software again. And also, if you need to continue their subscription, you would have to request for their software again. Here's another follow-up question. An example, I'm using a cloud version. How can I move to MS Cloud? So, that's a very good question. So, take for example, if you're already using a different, I'm assuming this is a different cloud service, and you want to migrate to Microsoft's cloud account. Take for example, if this is just storage, if it's Microsoft Cloud Storage, I would suggest that you apply for Office 365, as that would help you access OneDrive storages OneDrive storages and other cloud software. Take for example Outlook and other cloud-based servers. In terms of the actual migration per se, that is a different discussion. Take for example email migration or file migration. That is a bit of a difficult thing. I would double check. I would actually advise you to double check with your IT person if you have an IT person, more on particularly on the topic of email migration. But if it's just file migration, it's quite simple. You just need to extract those files out and re-upload them to your new cloud storage. Very simple. I hope that was able to help, Thomas. Just feel free to send in follow-up questions if I wasn't able to cover what you needed to cover. Another question from Booty. So, what are the required documents on the registration process? Do all the okay? So, for Cambodia, I would have to send these to you directly. Please send me your email, and I will be in touch with you over email. The reason why is because it's not currently published in the Cambodia website at the moment, so I'm still working on that. But I do have a copy on what certain documents that you would need for Cambodia. Quick thing, we would prefer the original documents, meaning documents in Khmer, not translated in English. So don't worry about if you don't have English translations for your documents. We actually would prefer the original versions. We have a translator that can help us verify those. All right, hope that was able to help. Okay, other questions, guys? Again, this doesn't have to be about the processes in TechSoup Asia. It can be about products. Just feel free to kind of like send in random questions. Yeah, this is a good opportunity. All right. Hmm. Oh, here's another question. Donor donates countries based. Can we request? Mm, here's a good question based on Vuti. Now, donors do donate certain products based on country. Say, for example, the Cambodia program currently has fewer donors as compared to the program in perhaps Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines. Unfortunately, Vuti, if that donor isn't available yet in our catalog, it's highly unlikely that you will be able to request for them. It will take a special. The reason why is because these donors actually tend to launch in certain geographies based on their own, based on their own preferences. That's also a problem for us. Take, for example, there are far more donors in the US as compared to Asia. And to be honest, a lot of those are actually very awesome donors. However, because of their preferences, they can't yet launch in because of their own preferences and restrictions. They can't yet launch, and why they haven't launched yet in our country. If it's not available in your country, sadly, the answer there is that it's unlikely that you will be able to request for it at the moment. There might be some chance that particular donor might consider launching in your country very soon. Uh, but at the moment, that's highly going to be unlikely. If you have a specific donor in mind, let me know. Maybe we can talk to somebody from TechSoup for consideration. All right. But I am just kind of like, I don't want to create any false hopes. It's highly unlikely, but it's worth a shot, right? It's worth asking. All right. Other questions, guys? Okay, here, Google for Nonprofits. That's a very good question. So yeah, at the moment, Google for Nonprofits is not available yet in Cambodia, Myanmar, Brunei, and Laos. There are ongoing discussions already, but I uh, cannot assure you whether when or if they are going to be launching soon. What I can tell you though is that we will be letting you know. Unfortunately, yes, that's a no at the moment. They are not yet available, and sadly, because they are not yet available, I'm not sure if there are any exceptions at the moment. I will double check with our team if there are any updates as to when or if they are opening their program in Cambodia. But please do join me in crossing my fingers and hoping that they do. Because I know a lot of organizations in Cambodia and basically elsewhere that could really, make the most out of these Google donations. I will be letting you know if there are updates though. And apologies for the inconvenience at the moment. Yeah. Okay, guys. Other questions? Okay. So, I, hmm, so I dare say there's not much questions anymore at the moment. So, however, if you do have any further questions, I'll be flashing my email right here. I hope you're able to see it now. So basically, it's judd@techsoup.asia. If you would need to contact me, just feel free to contact me through that email. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Since we no longer have any questions, here, sorry, Thomas. How about training for software order? That's a very tricky thing, and it's a very good question to be honest. At the moment, we do provide learning articles. What I can help you access as well is maybe recordings of previous webinars. Again, TechSoup is not just TechSoup Asia Pacific. It's not just me. We actually have a lot of partners all over the globe, and they also have their own materials that may be useful for you. live face-to-face training, I am not particularly sure if we are launching any at the moment. But if you let me know which country you're from, I can double check if we have anything scheduled for the future, and we can continue this discussion online over email. Sorry, but in terms of materials, learning materials, I can definitely help you in terms of accessing other learning materials coming from our different partners. Oh, Singapore. So for Singapore, we actually have a training coming up very soon. We're just kind of like we're nailing down what particular dates. And actually, I will be there personally. So I'm just nailing down which dates we can accommodate at the moment, and also, of course, finding the right trainers. And yeah, I will. I'm more than willing to continue this discussion over email. So yeah, we'll be having a training live face-to-face training soon in Singapore. So I hope to see you then. Yeah. Okay. Other questions, guys? Mhm. All right. So again, if there are no more further questions, I'm just leaving my email there for you to contact. Feel free to email me at judd@techsoup.asia. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Just give me some time to respond. But I will definitely respond to that. So, yep, it has been a very nice. It's been a very nice hour spending with you. Again, thank you for gracing me with the pleasure of spending this past hour with you and helping you learn more about TechSoup. I do hope you take this opportunity to make the most out of your TechSoup accounts because it can actually help you access a whole lot of resources such as donations and discounts that can definitely help your nonprofit, charities, or NGOs. And again, if you have any further questions or if you need advice or if you need or basically just need somebody to talk to, I am more than willing to help you out. I may not be as usual. I may not be as available over Skype, but please do feel free to email me. I'm normally attentive on my email. All right. So thank you again, guys. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. And sorry, I'll be sending out the recordings perhaps next week. I will be just traveling for tomorrow and so on. But yeah, I will be sending all these resources, the recordings, and necessary links by next week. All right. Thank you guys, and have a nice day.